know they were bad for you, not as a thought you're still debating, but as something you've already accepted. And yet, it's 2 a.m. The house is quiet. Your mind should be at rest, but it isn't. Something small triggers it, a song, a smell, a random memory that feels too familiar, and suddenly all the distance you built just disappears, like it was never really there. And this is the part that messes with you the most. Your memory doesn't play the full story. It plays highlights, the good moments in full color, the laughter, the connection, the version of them that made you feel like this is it. But the anxiety, the confusion, the nights you felt something was off but couldn't explain why, that part fades, soft, blurry, almost inaccessible. So now you're stuck in a split. Your mind knows the truth, but your body doesn't agree. And that contradiction, that's what keeps pulling you back. If that's where you are right now, stay with me. Because what you're feeling isn't random, and it's not weakness. There are 4 specific reasons this happens, and once you see them clearly, it stops controlling you the same way. The first one is this: you didn't get attached despite the pain. You got attached because of the pattern. It wasn't bad all the time. If it was, you would have left earlier and stayed gone. But it wasn't. It was good, then confusing, then good again, warm, then distant, close, then cold, and then suddenly everything felt right again. That cycle, that's what hooked you. This is what psychologists call intermittent reinforcement, and this is where it gets dangerous. Because unpredictable rewards don't just feel good. They train your brain to chase, to wait, to hope, to stay. And over time, your brain starts linking that person, not just with love, but with relief. And relief hits harder than happiness. Let that land. Relief hits harder than happiness, because it comes after tension, after uncertainty, after emotional discomfort. So when the good moments came, they didn't just feel nice. They felt like release, like finally being able to breathe again. And that creates a deeper attachment than steady, healthy love ever could. That's why you remember those moments so vividly. That's why they come back at 2 a.m. So when you say you miss them, ask yourself honestly, do you miss them? Or do you miss how it felt when the tension finally stopped? Because those are not the same thing, and confusing the two is how people go back to what hurt them. The second reason is why this doesn't just feel emotional, it feels physical. During the relationship, especially during the highs, your brain was flooded with dopamine and oxytocin. Reward and attachment. Together, they created something powerful, something that felt specific to that person, like they were the source of that feeling, like nothing else could replace it. And then it ended, and those chemicals dropped, fast. And your brain didn't interpret that as freedom. It interpreted it as loss, as something missing that needs to be restored. And this is where most people misunderstand themselves, because now you don't just think about them, you feel them, in your chest, in your stomach. That pull to check their page, that urge to reach out, that sudden wave that hits out of nowhere. That's not just memory. That's your nervous system reacting, because to your brain, this isn't just heartbreak, it's withdrawal. You can know they were wrong for you and still crave them at the same time, because logic and chemistry don't operate on the same system. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. You don't break this by thinking your way out of it. You break it by starving the loop, by not feeding the triggers, by not revisiting the same memories, by not reopening the same emotional door every time it knocks, and instead, slowly giving your brain something new to attach to, new experiences, new routines, new energy, not as a replacement, as a reset. Because healing isn't about removing the feeling instantly, it's about reducing its control over time. Before I go further, subscribe and turn on notifications for more, because the next part is where most people get stuck and don't even realize it. Third reason feels like clarity, but it isn't. It's editing. When something ends, especially something you invested deeply in, your brain has to answer a difficult question. Why did I stay? And instead of confronting that fully, it rewrites the story, not to lie to you, but to protect you. It highlights the good, softens the bad, reorders the timeline, and suddenly the relationship looks better in your memory than it felt in reality. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance. Your brain is trying to protect your sense of judgment, because admitting the full truth means sitting with something uncomfortable, that you tolerated more than you should have, that you stayed longer than you needed to. So instead, it creates a version of the past that feels easier to live with. And that's why you start thinking, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe it could have worked. Even when deep down you know what you experienced. And here's the line you need to remember. You're not missing the person. You're missing the edited version of them, the version your mind created to make the past easier to carry. And once you see that, you don't have to fight the feeling. You just stop fully trusting it. The fourth reason is the simplest and the most overlooked. It's not about them. It's about the space they left. They weren't just a person. They were part of your routine, your thoughts, your daily rhythm, the small check-ins, the random conversations, the presence that filled the quiet. And when they left, they didn't just leave emotionally. They left structurally. Now there's a gap, and your brain hates gaps. So it tries to fill it fast, and it tells you something that feels true but isn't. It tells you the only thing that can fill that gap is the person who created it. But that's not true. What you're actually missing is connection, familiarity, being seen, being understood. And those needs, they are real, but they don't belong to that person. They were just the one meeting them at the time. And once you separate the need from the person, something shifts, because now you're not trying to get them back. You're trying to rebuild what you lost in a healthier way. So when you sit there and the good memories feel louder than the bad, and it almost feels like you lost something valuable, understand what's really happening. It's not love refusing to die. It's the pattern that conditioned you, the chemistry that pulled you back, the memory that rewrote the story, and the emptiness that made them feel irreplaceable, all working together at the same time. Here's what actually matters. Missing them doesn't mean they were right for you. It doesn't mean you made a mistake by leaving, and it definitely doesn't mean going back would fix anything. It means you attached deeply, and that attachment landed in the wrong place. That's it. And that same depth is not your weakness. It's your capacity. The same thing that made you stay is the same thing that will allow you to build something real when it's placed in the right direction. And here's the part nobody tells you. You don't wake up one day and suddenly stop missing them. It fades quietly, gradually, in moments you don't notice at first. You think about them less. You react less. You stop checking. You stop replaying, until one day you realize something changed. They're not the first thing your mind reaches for anymore, not because you forced it, but because your life grew around the absence. New routines, new people, new meaning, and slowly the space they left gets filled, not by them, but by something better aligned. And when that happens, you don't just move on. You understand why it didn't work. You understand why it didn't work, why it couldn't work, and why going back would only repeat the same cycle. If this video just put words to something you've been feeling, drop "still missing them" in the comments and tell me which part hit you the hardest. Was it the pattern, the withdrawal, the way your memory changed the story, or the way your memory changed the story, or the space they left behind? I read every comment, and if someone you know is stuck in this exact loop, send this to them. Sometimes understanding it is the first step out of it. Subscribe for more. The next video goes even deeper.